Hi everyone and welcome to VLAN, Video Lighting, Audio, Music, and Photography How-To Show. I'm of course your host Matt Haslam, and on today's episode we're talking about CDBaby, because apparently they're trying their best this week to be in the news for all of the wrong reasons. And if you're not aware what CDBaby is, it's a platform where artists can sell their music for free, generally. And if you want to be listed in Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, ad revenue more than what you get from YouTube itself, all sorts of different things like that, you can sign up for their upgraded versions of their platform. And you can basically give them a small amount of money, and then all of a sudden you're on all of these different platforms on like 50 some distribution networks. That way people can buy your music anywhere that they normally get their music. They also have another side of their company, which is all duplication, where you can, purchase hundreds, thousands of copies of all of your CDs and stuff like that. That way you can have merchandise that looks really professional for all of your fans at your shows. The way we use their duplication services is more along their parent company of disc makers, which is again out of New Jersey, just like CDBaby, because disc makers own CDBaby completely. So they're out of New Jersey, and they allow us to make DVDs for our customers. They allow us to do 100 different things that we just don't have the resources to do in-house as a small company. If we were selling millions of copies of DVDs a year, then yeah, we'd probably spend the money and get duplication machines and printers and all that kind of stuff for ourselves. But because they have it all, they offer a pretty fair price on doing all of that work for us. So it's a service that we definitely do recommend, and we do use quite a bit. Before all of this happened, I want to make sure that's in there, because recently, this past summer, their kind of parent company, Duplication at CDBaby.com, did an entire pricing overhaul. And so they decided that if you want a disc, whether it be a CD, a DVD, anything of their services, you suddenly now had to buy a quantity, you can see it right over here where my mouse is, a quantity of 50 or more. And for a lot of our customers, at least, they never ordered 50 before this. Initially, they did this whole pricing change where basically if you ordered 50 or more, you got a price discount, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with a company saying the more you buy from us, the better price we can offer you per copy of your personalized DVDs, your CDs, whatever, made professionally. There's nothing wrong with that. You get a better price if you order more, obviously. So it's in a company's best interest to say, yeah, we're going to give you a price break at a certain point here. They did it quite well before all of this started. And this was I think a year and a half ago, where their pricing was very on point to the industry. It was very on point to what smaller customers could pay for, whether they wanted 5 copies of their DVD for their video, or if they wanted, if a band wanted to get, let's say, 10 or 20 copies at a time of their CD. That way they can sell them at their concerts, because not every band can afford to get 50 copies at a time of their CDs. It just doesn't happen. A lot of times when you're selling albums as an artist, a lot of times you're going to have a fan in the audience that goes, wow, I love this music that I just got done hearing at a block party or a community event where, the person didn't necessarily come to hear that band specifically. They're not a fan, a follower of that band already. So they might hear a song and go, wow, I really want to hear that again. And they're just going to look it up on iTunes or other services. They're not going to, probably go over to that merchandise booth and grab an actual physical album anymore. That's kind of going away with the industry right now. It's not to say that CDs don't sell, because I know they do, but it's to a much smaller market out there. So artists can't really buy 50 to 1,000 copies of their CDs anymore. It just doesn't happen in the industry. And if anyone should know this, it's CDBaby. So, because they are basically the platform for thousands upon thousands of artists out there. Now, this past summer, they decided, hey, we're not going to do anything less than 50 copies unless we're paid an awful lot amount of money. So basically, even that, to a certain extent, is understandable, because a lot of companies need to make proofs of a certain item, and that way they can actually print off of that. Like when you're in the printing world, you might have to make a proof of whatever poster or case that you're making, and that costs initial setup fee for printing that item. And then once that's set up, then you can copy that as many times as you want for a certain amount of a smaller amount of money, you know? A lot of companies that the more you buy, the less they worry about that setup fee for their printers and stuff. But for CDBaby, they were a company that you can order one CD at a time if you wanted. Someone can go on and say, I want a physical album of this artist, of this album by this artist. And basically you had your artist page on their website where you can have your customers go to this website and say, I want a digital copy of this, and they can download it right there for a certain price, whatever price you set as an artist, with full knowledge that other services like iTunes and stuff like that, if you distribute to those as well, they're going to set your prices for you. So you might want to keep your prices pretty even across the board. That way people get the same price no matter where they go. But with CDBaby, you can also opt for them to offer a physical album for you, and it didn't cost you anything really more. You can now have them have physical copies of your album be made individually as your customers order them. And then when your customers ordered it, it got shipped directly to your customers, and you never even saw that physical copy of your album, and it just was done for you. So it was this great little platform that a lot of artists that I know and that I personally love and I listen to all the time, they all use this platform. I use this platform for all of my distribution for my music, because it was a great way for my customers to go, I want a copy of that. How do I get it? Do I want it digitally? Do I want it physically? And CDBaby did it all. And they really didn't charge me as an artist much of anything. They really just charged what it would cost me to print that copy, but they let me keep a majority of the money that I charged for an album, because they realized they're a company that's set up to help artists. And the last thing a company like this wants to do is take money from the artists that they're trying to help, that they're advertising that they're helping, supposedly. So if that's what your whole marketing is going to be, to help artists out on their journey, then don't try to take money away from them. So what CDBaby said, this is like last summer, that they're going to do is they're going to suddenly change all their pricing so that if you want less than 50 copies, suddenly it's an astronomical number that you have to pay to make 5-10 copies of something, which was pretty bad. I mean, all of a sudden now, artists that couldn't afford to make 50 copies of something, suddenly now they had to pay ridiculous prices, and it was more worth it for them to, if they're going to spend this much money anyway, you could, and in most cases, whether it be a CD or a DVD, in most cases, to their new pricing structure, all of a sudden, it was better for you to order 50 of them at like $3 a piece compared to buying 10 copies at like almost $10 a piece. So it made no sense anymore to buy less than 50 copies. And so it made a lot of the artists out there incredibly angry. And it made artists like me angry, because suddenly now they weren't in the business of making one copy at a time anymore. They weren't for small artists that couldn't sell 50 or more copies at a time. They really weren't even for their duplication customers, which a lot of my video customers wanted DVDs of their projects. And basically, we sent out pricing for all of our customers for the season, for the spring season here last year. And suddenly, mid-season, they decided to change all their pricing so that basically they would have this new pricing structure where they wanted you to buy at least 50 copies. But they did all of that without honoring the prices that they already had out there. We contacted them and said, hey, we sent out prices to our customers already. And, here's what we told them, because it was based on your pricing as CDBaby. And they basically told us, hey, sorry, we got new prices, so buy 50 or more. That's the answer they gave us. So then what happened was, a couple months ago, they decided at the beginning of this spring 2019, that they're not going to offer anything less than 50 copies at all. Not even for a ridiculous price anymore. Because according to them, people weren't buying less than 50 copies anyway. Well, no, because you changed the freaking pricing structure where people really didn't see the value in buying 49 or less. So now you made it cheaper for them to buy 50, but slightly cheaper. They're still making money as a company, as CDBaby and disc makers. They're still making plenty of money. Don't worry about that. But now they're saying, well, no one really orders less than 50 anymore. Yeah, because you made it that way. You're the ones that set up the pricing so that we did that. We basically played right into your hand because you forced our hand on this. So, okay, whatever, CDBaby. Now you're not offering less than 50 copies of something. So companies like mine out there had to go, well, either we find other suppliers, which I really didn't want to have to try to find for my customers, because it's an awful lot of work to find a quality supplier out there, and I need to order something from them to know here's the quality of the material that I'm talking about. I can't just trust the pictures on their websites. I can't just trust that whatever company's out there is going to be better than CDBaby just because it has better pricing or whatever. I need to actually order something to know if they're good enough for my customers to use. So basically, you're forcing our hand to use you forever, almost, unless we want to spend the time and the money to do all of that, which is an awful lot of time and money that I don't have during peak season. So that's something we couldn't do this year for our customers. So basically, I started saying to my customers, hey, if you want 10 copies or less, I can make them in-house. It's a lot of work, so it's a lot of money, but if you want 50 or more, here's the pricing from CDBaby. Okay, so now the pricing started to be somewhat okay with my customers because, hey, it a lot of times it was cheaper for them to order 50 than order 40 or something like that. And they got 10 extra copies they can give away, or they can sell a week or two from then, when other parents started to come back and say, wow, that quality of that video is pretty good. We want a copy too. And without buying more from me, they had 10 extra copies now. So it actually worked out a little bit for some customers. Other customers were a little bit upset that they needed to buy 50 copies at a time. It's just how it worked out per customer, individual customers there. But across the board, I know other companies who also use disc makers and CDBaby as their supplier for all of their DVDs and their CD materials that they offer to their customers. And unfortunately, it's across the board, everyone is pretty furious with CDBaby for doing any of this. They went ahead and they changed their pricing a total of 3 different times in the course of a year, which is unheard of for a company to do. And they got rid of a lot of their product lines and got rid of the main purpose of their company, or at least what they marketed towards, is artists who couldn't afford to buy 50 or more. Artists who are pretty small and wanted to offer their customers a way to get a physical album or a digital album for basically the same cost as you would get from any other artist. CDBaby was the way for artists to do that, even if they weren't as big as Taylor Swift. And here's where this gets really, really effed up. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. This past week, CDBaby decided we're not just going to trash all of our duplication customers. We're going to trash all of our customers in general. On May 7th, they decided to send out an email to all of their customers who had digital albums on their website. Artists like me who had all of our music in one place. That way, all of my customers, my fans out there who wanted to buy a copy of one of my songs, all of my YouTube videos for my music videos, my lyric videos, all sorts of things like that, were all linked to CDBaby's website on my artist page that I set up on their website. So here's actually the page that I set up on their website. It's pretty basic, but it allows all of my customers to get any album or single that I have available at a reasonable cost, whether it's a single for $1, like 99 cents, which is what you would buy it on any other platform like iTunes and stuff like that. And it allows you to download the entire album at prices that I set. And yes, CDBaby takes a little portion of that because they're the distributor that allows these songs to get downloaded 24/7, 365 without my computer being on to access the music that they're actually downloading, and allows them to download MP3 versions of the songs directly to their music player on their phone, their computer, whatever. So, okay, now here's this platform that is really, really good for all artists out there that are small, that can't really afford to go directly to iTunes, or, maybe they don't know how to go directly to iTunes, all sorts of things like that. It allows artists to finally have all of their music in one place for their customers and their fans to go and say, hey, I really like that song they just played at their live concert. Let me go see their website and see if they have their music available, because I want to buy that song. Suddenly now you had a really good revenue source for all of your customers. Or if people saw a music video that they really liked, one of mine, let's say. For instance, my highest rated song right now is actually Lost Dog. And so customers can go say, you know what, I like that music video. Let me actually download that song right now. And with the link in the description of that video, they were able to go right here to this specific page, listen to the song, and download the song for 99 cents. And this track did really well for us at sales. I mean, better than most songs that we put out there already, which was so weird because a lot of my management and my advisors said, don't put this song out there. It's kind of weird as a song to compare relationships to. It did well. My customers liked this song. My fans, one of my fans even went ahead and wrote all the lyrics out of the song in one of their comments on the music video. It was insane how well this one did for us. And so CDBaby made their money on this track being available online. They're the ones that set the price of, hey, whatever you charge your customers for downloading this track, we're going to take X number of percentage from that sale before you get your money. And also, they're the ones that set the prices of minimums of what they're willing to pay you. So basically, you can sell as much as you want. That doesn't matter. But the minimums I'm talking about are, let's say, you need to sell a minimum of, I think it's about $10 at a time before they send a check to you or direct deposit that money to your account. So they hold this money unless you can sell $10 at a time. Once you make $10 on a sale or multiple sales, then they'll finally pay you. But until that point, they're not going to send out a check every single time you get a $1 download. It's just not going to happen. That's with many different platforms out there. It doesn't really matter which platform you go with, whether it's iTunes, whatever. They're not going to pay you every single dollar until you hit certain breakpoints where then, yes, they're going to finally pay you that amount of money. They still owe you that amount of money. It's not like you're never going to get that. It's just you need to sell a certain amount at a time in order for them to send a check to you. It's not worth their accounting to send out 99 cents at a time, basically, which is understandable. Great. So everything they did was to set up their system to make it easy for their artist to have their artist page and have their fans go online and download all the music they wanted, right? But then this week, where they finally say, on May 7th, they send out an email to all of their customers, all of their artists, and say, we have some important news about albums you have enrolled in the CDBaby free program. The free program, by the way, is a platform where you submit a track or an album and you submit it for free. They take a bigger percentage out of all of your sales for that album or that single for its entire lifetime. But it doesn't require you to pay in, let's say, $12.50, I think it was, for a single, and it doesn't require you to pay $49.99 for an album to be on their platform. You don't get distribution on iTunes and all these other places with the free version, but the free version allowed you to have your music available for maybe albums and songs that you kind of knew, hey, this isn't going to sell 1 million copies. This isn't going to sell enough to make it worth the $50 for me to cash out. And, you know, if you're selling an album for $4.99, you need to sell 10 of them just to make it worth your investment in putting that album on distribution, which some artists for every single album can't do. Yes, it's completely possible to sell 10 albums over the course of a year or whatever for an artist, but let's say 10 albums of one certain album. It's maybe not possible for certain artists out there. Basically, if you look at our sales for how many years now, that really didn't happen for certain albums or certain singles. We didn't sell enough the first year out of, I think, any album to make that $50 worth it. It's just over the lifetime of that album, yes, over the course of many years, it does make that worth it. But really, to have an artist invest that much every single time they put an album out, it was ridiculous. So that's why the free program came out. And the free program, again, was CDBaby marketing and saying, here, artist, we're here for you. We are here as your advocates, as your allies in this. We're here to help you get your music out there to your fans. That way they can buy all of your music and they can enjoy all of the great work that you're doing as artist. Wonderful. Thank you for being an ally. Thank you for helping us out with that. Thank you for giving us a platform to do that. Why are you taking that away? So they're saying on July 31st, 2019, across their entire platform, all free program albums and singles will be taken off of their platform. It says, if you'd like to keep your music available online, you will need to purchase a UBC barcode and pay the one-time distribution fee for that release. Then we can help you reach far beyond our store to places like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, and more. CDBaby's standard distribution also comes with social video monetization on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, sync licensing, physical distribution for CD and vinyl, free major label calibrator music marketing tools, and more. We're making this change in order to follow the standard industry practice that all commercially available music have a UBC, which helps ensure proper accounting and sales tracking. For more information about UBC barcodes and why you need one, see our help center. If you do nothing, your music will be removed from our store on or after July 31st, 2019. Thank you so much, CDBaby. I really do appreciate you being there and helping the small artist out. Just for the record, where's my actual music page here? Just for the record, a majority of the albums that I have on my page are all under the free program. There's one, Navigate, that we actually paid for the standard distribution on, and that was a $50 fee. And then One Word Cancer Song had $12.50 single album standard distribution, and that way it couldn't get onto iTunes, all these other places. Great, because we knew those two albums would do pretty well. Okay, but for the rest of them, we went with the free program. Now, I just want to clarify here. We used to have a lot more albums on here, and we got rid of the ones that didn't do that hot. I mean, they sold maybe 1 or 2 copies or whatever, but they didn't do as well as the ones here, and we wanted our customers, our fans, to only get the best of our music when they went to our store here. So we narrowed down their options to the best sellers, basically. And anything new that we come out with, we obviously do add it here. Like Lost Dog just came out, I think, like a month or something ago. It came out 2019. Doesn't actually give me that information, but it was pretty much like probably like a couple months ago it came out. So now with this new plan, July 31st, all of these songs will suddenly be gone. Now I can't sell music anymore, CDBaby, at least on your platform, unless I decide it's worth my investment for every single single. And let's just, basically go with what they want. Digital music distribution here, right? Let's say I want to put my music on their platform and I want to keep it there. Okay, so standard distribution of an album is $49. A single is $9.95 now. So they did save you $2 per single, but still it's $10 of your money for every single album. So let's just count how many that I would need that for. Lost Dog, 12th as a single. We also have Happy as a Greyhound, Bus Stop, DNA, Candles Burn Out, For Old Time's Sake, and Only Way. So that's $80 that they would need in order to keep those albums on, and then $50 for every album. So Shadows, there's We Had It All Live, Carousel Ride Deluxe Edition, Carousel Ride regular album, and then there is, that's all of the regular albums. So that's $200. So $280 of my money that I earned from my music, CDBaby wants, in order to keep all of my albums that are currently listed on their platform. How is this for small artists? How are you helping this small artist out there who just wants his fans from around the world, or his or her fans from around the world, to be able to support their music and their hard work as an artist? You, CDBaby, set up your prices to whatever you wanted. You said, hey, we want this percentage out of an album that you sell if you go with the free program. So why are you not honoring that anymore? How is it fair for you to basically backstab all of the artists on your platforms all at the same time? And I'm just gonna guess that CDBaby has thousands upon thousands of artists who use that program, because they said, you know what, yeah, maybe we're paying, I think it was 24% or something like that. We're paying a higher percentage out when we actually sell something, but not every artist knows that they can sell something. So they're not going to buy distribution on a song or an album until they know it does well. If there's an album or a song that does really well and it sold hundreds of copies, great. I might buy distribution on that one. And that way I'm making 100% of the profits from then on. Or I think it was like 99% or something like that. Just a small like processing fee, right? Which is fine. Go, take your processing fee. I don't care, right? Because you're accepting the credit card for that album purchase. Fine, I understand that. But if I don't know something's going to do well, I'm going to put it on the free program and see if it does well first. See if my audience really liked it. Because I will tell you from experience here, there were songs that I thought would do fantastic at sales. For instance, I thought that Only Way, when that was put out, I thought that that one would do really, really well. I thought that was going to be our number one hit for a long time coming. Ended up not selling that well at all. So there's no way you're going to see Only Way after this whole distribution deal goes through. Okay? So it just didn't do as well as we thought. So if I risked the $10, the $12 back then for that single to be distributed, it wouldn't have sold that much. It would still not have sold that much to make it worthwhile. For instance, Lost Dog. If I decided to put the money into that song to distribute it, yeah, it probably would have been worth it. But I didn't know that going in. I thought that Lost Dog was a very, very silly song that my fans would just basically laugh at once because it's more of a comedy song. And they just watch the music video and that'd be it. I never thought in a million years it would sell a copy, and here we are, you know? So basically, the free program offered a way for artists to test the waters a little bit and see if their audience didn't just watch the music video, but actually went ahead and put their money out there for the artist. And now with this new program, how do artists get paid? Tell me how the small artist is helped by this. Please enlighten me, CDBaby, on how exactly you're still for small artists out there. How is that still a part of your marketing? You're not going to be able to say that anymore. You want, as CDBaby, you want to sell 50 or more. You want to make sure that you get your money up front from all of the artists on your platform. Otherwise, it's not worth it for you to have these albums available. What in the world is CDBaby doing here other than pissing every single artist off? That's what they wanted for a year and a half, 2 years now. And it's making artists like me very skeptical of trying to use their programs in the future. We're already for next season starting to look at other options and starting to figure out if we can use another distribution company for duplication of all of our DVD sales, all that kind of stuff. We're already looking at that kind of stuff. We're already looking, because of this, I am forced by July to look for another distributor that allows me to have my music available, or just go through my website at where I personally have my website built from Wix.com, and have all my music available on my personal website. So whatever sales that they had on these songs or these albums from the artist, they just basically lost because they pissed everyone off, and now we have to go their places. And it was basically this system where I wasn't on Wix when I initially started my albums here on CDBaby. And I just said to myself, you know what? Rather than putting my songs and my albums on Wix.com, which is where I have built my website on, rather than doing that, I'm just going to keep with CDBaby because it's a great program. But now I have to go back to Wix. And now I get more of that money from Wix. So it works out semi-well for me because I'm already paying for that service yearly from my website anyway, so I might as well utilize it. But for a lot of artists, it doesn't work out for them. They're going to end up losing a ton of money. And by happenstance, CDBaby is going to lose that money too. They're not going to make their 20-some% on that sale if they're not having their artist, if they're not allowing their artist to have those albums available for their customers, their fans. So now, what do we go from here? We look for other platforms that offer better services to us as artists. CDBaby is obviously not in it for artists anymore. They are in it for themselves, and that is it. They want their money up front. They want their $50 per album. They want their $10 per single. And then they're still taking their processing fees later on. So they're all about the money. They're no longer for artists. And that really sucks saying. They're no longer for companies like mine who want to sell duplicated items, such as DVDs and CDs. They no longer want to be for artists who want to have physical copies of their albums and can't afford 50 copies at a time. They are no longer in this for bands and artists out there who just want to give their fans a good quality product at an affordable rate. Artists like my size or smaller have to now, basically, if we want to continue to use CDBaby, we have to up all of our rates. It's as simple as that. If we want to have all of our songs available, it's no longer going to be 99 cents per song or $1.29 on iTunes, or it's no longer going to be $10 for a new album. It's going to be now $20, because what if we don't sell enough to make that $50 worth it? And if we up our rates, less people are going to buy our albums in general. So for us, it's a lot better right now, at least, to by July 31st, move to another platform that is actually our advocate as artists, who's actually out there for us and tries their best to help us. Because CDBaby is no longer there, and I call BS on all marketing that they have at this point. I even call BS on their whole email of, we're doing this change in order to follow the standard industry practice that all commercially available music have a UPC. No, you're not. You're out for the money. That's it. For years, you, at CDBaby, for years CDBaby was basically the different company out there who didn't require you to have a UPC, who allowed you to have a free program to sell copies of your songs. Because that was your whole appeal, to get your customers. Literally, one of the only reasons you got customers at CDBaby was because all of the other providers said, no, we want all of our money. All of the other platforms out there were at least upfront about their advertising. They said, we want money first and foremost before we start distributing your music for you. CDBaby said, no, we are for the artist. Well, if you take that away and say we're just like every other company now, why would people use your service? Why would people use your platform anymore? I don't understand it. That was your whole unique ability. So, thank you, CDBaby, for being complete jerks to artists, to all of your customers, all within about a year and a half. Disc makers screwed over all of their duplication customers. CDBaby, who sold disc maker items, just happened to go along with the flow because they were owned by disc makers and they sold all disc makers products. So they screwed over all of their disc duplication customers, and now CDBaby is screwing all over their online and music customers. So thank you, CDBaby, for being complete jerks. I don't know how to say it other than literally just the most sarcastic way possible. Thank you so much. But on another note, please do boycott the hell out of CDBaby. Contact them and tell them how much they're screwing over artists, just like we are this week. Because holy crap, the amount of just bull crap coming out of CDBaby this entire year is just mountains of bullshit. So, like, yeah, it's been about a year and a half, 2 years of them trying to get more and more money out of the people that they supposedly are here to help. Whatever that meant. And their customer service team, after we contacted them and said, hey, we gave customers our prices, which relied on your prices of duplication, they were like, well, we're sorry, we can't honor those prices because we didn't know you were going to give these customers to your price. We didn't know we were going to be held responsible for the prices on our own website. We didn't know you were going to take our pricing and forward it to your customers. What did you think I was going to do with it? Do you think I'm going to sell 50 copies of a DVD to myself. No, that's not going to happen. If I'm ordering a DVD, I'm probably selling it to someone. So their customer service team was absolutely horrible over the years. So, yeah, we're definitely looking for new places, and I encourage you to look other places as well for all of your needs. I haven't even begun to figure out what quality suppliers that I can recommend for distributing your music or for duplicating all of your CDs and DVDs. But if CDBaby is out there doing it, there's someone else out there competing against them. And if you don't think one of their competitors also is going to see this email and see it as an opportunity to take some of their business, then you be blinding yourself to the truth, because they definitely are. And I encourage all of their competitors to see this as an opportunity to help the smaller artist out, because smaller artists definitely do need the help. It's a gold mine if you advertise yourself well. CDBaby advertises themselves well beforehand, and they were all for the artists. They made money on this. Don't think for a second that they didn't make money and that's why they're making this change. No, they're making this change because they want more money. They're greedy little jerks who just want more money to fill their freaking pockets. So I encourage all other companies out there to see this as an opportunity to make money for themselves and to screw over CDBaby, because they obviously screwed over us. So artists like me out there, we are looking for other platforms. So if you have another platform that you use for your distribution or your duplication that's quality, please do leave it in the comments below. I will definitely check it out, and we will possibly do a follow-up to this episode so that I can recommend them to artists who watch this show. With all of that said, thank you so much for watching and staying with us for this little rant of mine, because they really, really, really pissed me off this week with all of this crap that they put us through. And so I say, do not use CDBaby from now on. Just don't. We're going to continue using it for about 3-4 weeks here for our customers that still have orders through them. But after that, we're looking for someone new. So please do leave in the comments below someone that you recommend, because I'm all ears at this point for someone that actually cares about their customers and cares about the artist that they supposedly are out there to serve. So thank you so much for watching. Please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for even more great content to come in the future, where I don't rant as much or nearly as long on topics. And please do like, comment, all that kind of stuff with your thoughts on all of this. And if you want, you are more than welcome to send this video out to CDBaby at their wonderful customer service team, because I'm sure they would love hearing how horrible of a service they have for helping their artist out. Anyway, have a great day, everyone, and see us next time. Bye for now.